What's up guys, Chris here from Mainely Mesh, and today we're gonna learn how to do shooting strings. What you're gonna need for this tutorial is an almost finished lacrosse head, top string, sidewalls, throat, and then also you are going to need one shooting lace and one nylon is typically what we call it. Nowadays, I almost exclusively use a sidewall string to do this. String King has their own nylons, which are also good. They're also a little thinner though. ECD sells a softer version of a nylon in their kit, which I don't like quite as much. You're gonna learn shooting strings are something that are heavily predicated upon preference. Personally, I want something inelastic, meaning it's not gonna stretch at all, because in my mind that makes it more consistent. And then really just that diameter of the string is going to affect how hard you feel that ball hit off of that top nylon. So if you want no feel at all and just want it to kind of glide out of the pocket, you could actually use another shooting lace. If you want a really nice clunk off that top, you can use even a thicker nylon, whatever floats your boat. But this is typically what I use, so I'm gonna teach you how to do it that way. Oh, when I say typically, I lied. This is a nylon. I usually use a sidewall string, but it'll work. Now, where you place your shooting strings is also a big item of preference. There are rules as to how low they can go. I believe it's still that 4-inch rule that the shooting strings have to be above 4 inches from the top of the scoop. You will notice that 99% of the time I do one on the next available 9-diamond row and my lace on the next available 9-diamond row after that. So one nylon, one shooting lace on the next two available 9-diamond rows. I won't go into the theory now, but that's what we're gonna learn how to do today. So before I get going, make sure you identify that open 9-diamond row. You're gonna enter either through the sidewall, you can loop around if you want. It doesn't really matter. I prefer to have it anchored on the plastic though, so I'm not gonna wiggle it only on the mesh and try to jimmy it in there. I wanna go through some piece of plastic just for consistency's sake. So I'm going to enter in through the outside of the sidewall here and bring that string up through the 9-diamond row. Just going straight up through. Then I'm gonna bring this trail string and set it a little bit longer than the one that's already gone through the mesh. It'll even out at the end, but if you have a short string, that's gonna be what you wanna do. Lay everything off to the right-hand side. I'm gonna pinch with my left hand here and bring that trail string down through the same 9-diamond row and up through the next one, and then lay everything off to the right. Then I'm gonna pick up that trail again, enter down where that string just exited, up through the next 9-diamond row diamond and lay it off to the right. Bring the trail, lay it down through the same hole, up through the next one, lay it off to the right. That's forming a nice little barrel pattern here as I bring the trail down through the same hole, up through the next one, off to the right, down through the same one, up through the next one, off to the right, down and up as I start picking up speed. And you can see here I'm creating a nice little barrel pattern. So I'm starting to cruise. Before I get to the end, once I get to this section, I'm going to adjust the head so you can see it a little bit better. I'm gonna go down through that same one, and now there's no mesh for me to come out of. So at this point, I need to exit through the sidewall. Okay, so I have that set, and now I'm going to tie a square knot. Here, I'm gonna go left over right and around behind, pull that, not too tight here, just enough to make it even, and then right over left. Okay, and notice how that makes a nice square knot. Now that won't hold on its own, so I'm gonna tie a double overhand knot on top of it. See how I take both pieces of string, wrap it around my finger, and then I'm gonna go up through that hole I've just made. I have very shaky hands if you have not noticed that before, but I go up through that hole and I push everything down to a nice firm knot. Basically what that double overhand knot does is it acts as a stopper to the square knot, that's the word, jeez, that I just tied. Okay, we're on to the shooting lace. I'm gonna enter out through the outside, up through that same 9-diamond row. This is following exactly the same pattern I just did, except you're gonna notice I'm gonna do some funky things to make sure everything stays flat. So here, I wanna make sure everything stays flat. I go down through the same hole, up through the next one. Okay, now watch what I do with my left thumb here. As I fold everything back, I'm gonna pinch it with my left thumb So when I loop back over, everything stays flat as I pull it through, just like that. That thumb allows me to pick up some speed without worrying about the string twisting. See how it kind of self-corrected right there? So once again, I'm gonna cock everything back, pinch it with my left thumb, and then enter through the same hole and up through the next. Now, as far as tensioning goes here, I'm just trying to keep this string even tension with the mesh, so it should be less tight than that first nylon. Okay, pinch with my left thumb, down through the same hole, up through the next one. Still getting that barreling effect without twisting any string. It's gonna give you a really nice aesthetic if you do it this way. Okay, like I said, I'm making sure I'm not pulling too much tension here, so I've reached that critical point where I can't go up through any mesh anymore, so I have to exit through the sidewall hole, okay? And then you're gonna see me tie this square knot again. This is a very important step, this first part. I also realized I did the square knot the opposite way I did the last one. Here I go right over left. Do not pull this too tight, okay? Otherwise it's gonna tighten everything, then left over right. Okay, this second one I can yank as hard as I want. And then I take this double overhand knot to provide that stopping power and make sure nothing ever comes untied. Boom. Okay, so just to remind you what the tension should be, I want you to imagine this is a little bit of a two-set speed bump. The first thing that the ball hits as it leaves the pocket is the shooting lace. This slows things down a little bit without completely stopping it and launching it out of the pocket, and also provides a lot of hold, okay? This next one is the one that can be a little bit tighter, right? This should be right about where the ball wants to exit naturally in the stick. So if you look at what I have here, without any shooting strings, if I trace where the ball would go through, it would want to exit pretty much on that 9 diamond row anyways. All I'm doing is giving it a little kick on the way out so I have some feel as the ball exits my stick. So once again, shooting lace slows things down, provides hold. This is that little bit of feel at the end as the ball releases. And that's your basic theory behind shooting strings. I'll get into some more theory coming up, but we've just strung a complete lacrosse stick. Congratulations, guys. We're gonna dig into theory next, and then if you're super lucky and I'm still holed up and have a little bit of free time to spare, then we might even get into some specific patterns and tutorials for different heads. No promises though. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Actually, I really don't care if you do or not, but I appreciate all your support, and I'll catch you guys next time as we get into the theory.